Imagine a doctor, a real doctor, taking an instrument that looks suspiciously like an ice pick, hammering it through a patient's eye socket, and just wiggling it around. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. This was a mainstream medical procedure, performed tens of thousands of times across the United States. This is the insane, true story of the lobotomy, and the man who championed it, Dr. Walter Freeman. In the 1940s and 50s, this brutal brain surgery was hailed as a miracle cure for mental illness. Families were desperate, asylums were overflowing, and a quick, terrifying fix seemed like the only answer. But how did the medical world ever decide that scrambling someone's brain with a metal spike was a good idea? The story is even crazier than you can imagine. To understand the lobotomy, we have to go back to 1935, to a neurologist named Egas Moniz in Portugal. He had this theory: mental illness was caused by faulty wiring in the brain, specifically in the frontal lobes, the part that controls our personality and emotions. So, what if you could just sever those connections? He developed a procedure called a lobotomy. He would drill 2 holes into the patient's skull, inject pure alcohol to destroy the nerve fibers, and hope for the best. The results were mixed. Some patients became calmer, but many were left emotionally numb, apathetic, or worse. Despite this, the medical community was desperate. In a shocking twist, Egas Moniz won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1949 for his work, a Nobel Prize, for a procedure that was essentially a shot in the dark, a blind attack on the most complex organ in the human body. This Nobel Prize gave the lobotomy a terrifying stamp of approval, and it set the stage for an American doctor to take this nightmare to a whole new level. Enter Dr. Walter Freeman. He saw Moniz's lobotomy and thought, I can do that, but better, and faster, and without all that messy drilling. He was a showman, a medical evangelist who believed he had found the cure for everything from schizophrenia to depression to simple teenage rebellion. His innovation was as simple as it was horrifying: the transorbital lobotomy. He realized he could bypass the thick skull by going through the thin bone of the eye socket. He'd take his custom-made orbitoclast, which was literally modeled after an ice pick, from his kitchen, insert it above the patient's eyeball, tap it through the bone with a mallet, and then sweep it back and forth to sever the frontal lobes. The whole procedure took less than 10 minutes. He didn't even need an operating room. He performed them in his office. Freeman was on a mission. He bought a van, nicknamed it the lobotomobile, and drove across the country, performing his ice pick lobotomy on thousands of people in state hospitals and asylums. He was a one-man brain surgery assembly line. He became a celebrity, performing for audiences of doctors and nurses, sometimes using both hands to lobotomize 2 patients at once. He believed he was liberating people from mental anguish, but what he was often creating was a population of docile, childlike shells of their former selves. The goal wasn't to cure, but to make patients manageable, easier to control. And for overcrowded, underfunded institutions, that was a godsend. Freeman personally performed over 3,400 lobotomies, convinced until his dying day that he was a hero. The list of victims is long and heartbreaking. Perhaps the most famous case is that of Rosemary Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy's younger sister. In 1941, at just 23 years old, her father arranged for her to be lobotomized by Freeman to control her mood swings and rebellious behavior. The surgery was a catastrophe. It left her with the mental capacity of a toddler, unable to walk or speak coherently for the rest of her life. Her family hid her away in an institution, and her existence was largely erased from the public story of the Kennedys. Then there's Howard Dudley. In 1960, at the age of just 12, his stepmother convinced Freeman that he was defiant and daydreamy. Freeman performed an ice pick lobotomy on a 12-year-old boy. Howard spent the rest of his life piecing together what happened to him, feeling like a part of his soul had been stolen. Freeman's own words betray the grim reality. He said his goal was to turn agitated, insane patients into quiet, manageable idiots. He succeeded. By the mid-1950s, the tide began to turn. The medical community, initially intrigued, grew horrified by the sheer brutality and the devastating, unpredictable results. Stories of patients left in vegetative states or with profoundly changed, blunted personalities became too numerous to ignore. That the real nail in the lobotomy's coffin came not from surgical ethics, but from a pill. In 1954, a new drug called thorazine was introduced. It was the first effective antipsychotic medication. It could calm agitated patients and reduce psychotic symptoms without destroying their brains. It was dubbed the chemical lobotomy, and it made Freeman's ice pick surgery look like the barbaric butchery truly was. The demand for lobotomies plummeted. Walter Freeman, however, refused to stop. He continued his crusade, a relic of a discredited era. His career finally came to an end in 1967 when a patient, one he had lobotomized years before, died of a brain hemorrhage during a third procedure he was performing on her. His medical license was finally revoked. Today, the lobotomy is banned in most countries and universally condemned as one of the darkest chapters in medical history. It stands as a chilling cautionary tale about the dangers of medical arrogance, the desperation for miracle cures, and what can happen when we dehumanize those suffering from mental illness. We look back with horror, but it's a vital reminder of our ethical responsibilities and the profound importance of compassion in medicine. The search for a quick fix for the complexities of the human mind can lead us down terrifying paths. The legacy of the ice pick lobotomy isn't just a story of bad science. It's a ghost that haunts the halls of medicine, reminding us to never again sacrifice a person's humanity in the name of a cure. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as insane as I did, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the strangest corners of history.